This story isn't mine, it is my dad's story. However, my dad is a psychic medium and doesn't lie when it comes to things like this. This story involves my dad, John, and 3 women, Linda, Janet, and Marie. John, my dad, is the chairman of a theater committee and has been for the past 4 years. We recently started a youth theater school within the theater, which Linda is the principal of, Janet is the support coach for, and Marie is the dance choreographer for. We've all known that our theater is haunted for a long time, and every member of the committee has their own ghost story, including me, and this one in particular is the most recent and by far the worst. John, Linda, Marie, and Janet were all in the theater's bar, having a meeting about the youth theater. They were talking when suddenly Linda and Janet heard 2 solid bangs coming from the auditorium, which nobody was in, since it was only them 4 in the building at the time. They turned to John and Marie and said, "Did you guys hear that?" To which my dad and Marie said, "No, what was it?" Linda and Janet told John and Marie what they had heard. Just after they told the other 2 what had happened, all that was heard next from the auditorium was bang, 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 continuously for about 2 minutes straight. At this point, everyone had heard it and was freaking out. My dad said, "I know that noise, that's the noise that the chairs make, as if someone is folding them upwards really forcefully. Our theater's chairs are your average fold-up theater chairs." My dad then said, "I'll go and try to replicate the sound of it, and we can see if it is that." So my dad went to the auditorium, and as he opened the door, he just heard this whisper like, "Whoosh," as this gust of freezing cold air hit him. He said it was cold like he's never felt before, deathly cold. It was then this man came charging up to him. John told me that this man clearly wasn't a human, but instead something trying to appear as a human. He said this man was about 7 or even 8 foot tall, and apparently it walked weird, like as if it had more than 1 pair of legs, but was trying to hide it to appear like it only had 2 pairs of legs. My dad couldn't see any features on it because apparently it was like a black silhouette. As this thing came sprinting up to him, apparently it screeched in this distorted, hellish voice, "Get them out!" To which my dad slammed the door in pure fear. Now, like I said, my dad is a psychic medium and has been for about 15 years. He said he's never been scared before of anything, but this was something else, and that he got a really bad feeling from it. It was at this point that my dad said his spirit guides came forward, and even guides that he hadn't channeled before, like his animal guides, his ancestors, his gatekeeper, etc. He said every spiritual part of him was telling him to just get out of this building as fast as he possibly could. That was when my dad ran back to the bar to get Janet, Marie, and Linda and said, "We need to get out of here now. No questions, I'll explain outside." So everyone left the theater, locked it up, and got to their cars. My dad said as he got in his car, his gatekeeper came back to him. And my dad said he felt like his gatekeeper was limping, like whatever this entity was inside of the theater. It was very dangerous. My dad said he felt like he needed to go back to the theater to retrieve his guides. But he said he knew better than to trust an instinct, telling him to go back towards danger. My dad said his gatekeeper was telling him stuff like, "This creature has been in your house. It has seen your children. And when you go back home, you'll find that your oven is switched on because of it." At this point, everyone then called each other in a group chat while they drove home to have a debrief of what happened. On a side note to this story, my dad does psychic nights at the theater often, and on one occasion he took one of the guest mediums around the theater for a tour. And when he got up to the costume attic and were about to leave the attic, my dad's friend was saying to him, "John, I can't leave this attic. There's spirits of kids in here, and they're begging us to please not go. They're terrified." Now, this was a month ago, so my dad was totally confused as to what these spirits were scared of, but after his encounter with whatever that entity was on Monday, he now feels like this entity was screeching, "Get them out," about these children's spirits. This creature must have been torturing the children in the attic. What do we do? Everyone is far too scared to go back to the theater now. However, we've been left no choice, since we have the youth theater classes every Saturday. which is currently on a 2-week break. Does anybody know what this entity is? My dad is planning on doing a ghost hunting night here, but now he doesn't want to disturb whatever that thing is.